What if a prison's walls weren't made of concrete and steel, but of swamplands, pythons, and alligators? What if the most effective guards weren't paid a salary, but were instead apex predators waiting in the murky water? This isn't the plot of a dystopian horror film. This is happening right now in the Florida Everglades. Today, we are unlocking the gates on a facility so controversial, it's already been nicknamed by its own proponents. Alligator Alcatraz, Trump's terrifying new blueprint for detention. Welcome back to US and World Politics Decoded. You might be asking yourself, wait, are they actually building a massive migrant detention center in the middle of a swamp, intentionally using the dangerous wildlife as a deterrent? The answer is a startling and unequivocal yes. But this story is much bigger than just one facility. It represents a radical new strategy in American immigration policy, one that President Donald Trump wants to see replicated in many states. The question we must explore today is this an innovative, low-cost solution to a national crisis? Or is it, as one legal expert claims, the creation of an independent and unaccountable detention system that shakes the conscience? Stay with us as we decode the reality of Alligator Alcatraz. So, what exactly is Alligator Alcatraz? Officially, it's a new migrant detention center being constructed at the remote Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport, deep within Florida's Everglades. The administration says operations are set to begin this week. The facility itself will be composed of large tents and is designed to eventually hold up to 5,000 people. Its location is key to its design and its controversy. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt described the area bluntly. There's only one road leading in, and the only way out is a one-way flight. She continued, stating, "It is isolated and surrounded by dangerous wildlife and unforgiving terrain. The goal is to house, process, and ultimately deport undocumented immigrants, specifically, as Leavitt notes, criminal illegal aliens. This facility is a cornerstone of President Trump's aggressive push to enact a mass deportation policy. His administration has struggled to meet its deportation targets, citing a lack of resources and detention space as a primary obstacle. This new center in Florida, along with potentially other smaller facilities, is designed to create 5,000 additional beds to solve that problem." On Tuesday, July 1st, President Trump himself, accompanied by Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, toured the facility. Trump didn't just approve of the center, he praised it as a model for the entire country. "Well, I think I would like to see them in many states. Really, many states," he said. He even suggested that at some point, these facilities might morph into a system. When asked if the harsh conditions could become a new standard, Trump's answer was direct. It can be. He celebrated the facility's natural security features, remarking, "They have a lot of bodyguards and a lot of cops that are in the form of alligators. You don't have to pay them so much. We'll keep people where they're supposed to be." This sentiment is echoed by his top officials. Secretary Noem stated that Alligator Alcatraz and other facilities like it will give us the capability to lock up some of the worst scumbags who entered our country under the previous administration. Florida Attorney General James Othmeyer, a key proponent of the project, has been championing the cost-saving aspect of the natural barriers. He posted on X that the location saves money on security and that you don't need to invest that much in the perimeter. People get out. There's not much waiting for them other than alligators and pythons. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. The White House sees this as an efficient and low-cost way to help carry out the largest mass deportation campaign in American history. When pressed on the danger, the administration frames it as a feature, not a bug, Levitt argued, when you have illegal murderers and rapists and heinous criminals in a detention facility surrounded by alligators, yes, I do think that's a deterrent for them to try to escape. Advocacy groups and legal experts are sounding the alarm, arguing that this facility represents the creation of a dangerous, new form of detention outside the reach of the federal government. Mark Fleming, a litigation director at the National Immigrant Justice Center, gave a particularly damning assessment. He described the project as an independent and unaccountable detention system. What's especially concerning to critics is the speed and apparent lack of planning for human welfare. Fleming stated, "The fact that the government and its allies would even consider such an enormous temporary facility in such a short time, with no apparent plan on how to adequately staff medical and other necessary services in the middle of the Florida summer heat, demonstrates their callous disregard for the health and safety of the human beings they intend to imprison there." He concluded with a chilling phrase, "It simply shakes the conscience." This raises a fundamental question. Who is actually running this facility? Typically, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, holds migrants in private prisons or local jails. Here, the state of Florida is building and operating a detention center specifically for migrants apprehended by local authorities on behalf of the federal government. It's a move that critics say outsources federal responsibility and creates a shadow system with less oversight. Adding another layer of controversy is the funding. The project will cost Florida an estimated $450 million per year. Officials say some of this can be reimbursed by FEMA's Shelter and Services Program. However, that FEMA fund was actually created during the Biden administration for the express purpose of helping local organizations care for migrants passing through the U.S. immigration system. The Trump administration, which had previously criticized cities like New York for using this money, is now tapping into that very fund to build a mass detention center. The pushback is not just coming from lawyers and advocates. Environmental groups are actively suing to stop construction, arguing that the government violated the Endangered Species Act by building on protected land. This past weekend, protesters gathered along the highway cutting through the Everglades. The crowd included environmental activists, Native American groups advocating for their ancestral homelands, and demonstrators protesting the treatment of migrants. Even local political leaders have voiced concern. The mayor of Miami-Dade County, Daniela Levine Cava, wrote a letter requesting more time to evaluate the state's plans, citing the rapid pace of the efforts and the lack of time for thorough discussion. So, what have we decoded today? We are witnessing the birth of a new and aggressive chapter in U.S. immigration policy. On one side, the Trump administration and its allies in Florida present Alligator Alcatraz as a stroke of genius, a secure, low-cost, and efficient model to detain and deport migrants on a massive scale. They see the hostile environment not as a danger, but as a feature that ensures security and acts as a powerful deterrent. On the other side, a chorus of critics, including legal experts, human rights advocates, and environmentalists, sees a nightmare scenario unfolding. They see an unaccountable, state-run detention system being hastily built in a dangerous environment with little regard for human life or safety. They see a plan that, in the words of one expert, shakes the conscience. This is more than just a political debate. It's a profound question about the methods a nation is willing to employ to enforce its laws. Is Alligator Alcatraz a pragmatic solution born of necessity, or is it a dangerous precedent that erodes oversight and compromises basic human dignity? The answer will define not only the fate of the thousands who may be held there, but the very character of the nation itself. That's all for today's deep dive here on U.S. and World Politics Decoded. The situation in the Everglades is developing rapidly, and we'll be following it closely. What are your thoughts on this new facility? Is it a justified measure or a step too far? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this analysis insightful, please hit the like button, share this video with someone who needs to see it, and make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our next report. Thanks for watching US and World Politics Decoded.